This is NDDC Today.
One of the key mandates for us is to make sure that a thorough forensic audit is undertaken on NDDC.
As a governor of Nigeria, we met Mr. President. We told Mr. President there must be a surgical operation. We are in support of it.
It doesn't matter whose house is not. Because somebody has to speak out at some time in history.
The President has ordered a forensic audit, and that was the basis for which we emerged as an interim management committee. And we want to assure everyone in Nigeria, and indeed the Niger Delta, that our Commonwealth will be accounted for.
Hello. So all that we've been waiting for, the forensic audit, is finally on the way.
This week on NDDC Today.
NDDC urges contractors, consultants, and service providers to come for verification. Questionable contract awards of over 1.3 trillion in 3 years exposed by the Executive Director of Projects. NDDC to restore historical bridge in River State. NDDC partners with Rwanda to tackle environmental issues in River State. This is NDDC Today. Stay with us.
To allow for more time for NDDC contractors to be verified at the ongoing contract verification exercise being carried out by the Niger Delta Development Commission, the NDDC management has approved a 1-week extension for the exercise. The alternate chairman of the Contract Verification Committee and Director of Project Monitoring and Supervision, Engineer Dr. Emmanuel Audu Ohagbulua, made this known when he inspected the progress of work at the NDDC River State Office, venue of the verification exercise for the state.
We've been receiving a series of messages from contractors, complaints, admonishing for an extension so that all contractors can be captured. So the management committee met and looked at all these requests and deemed it fit that because of the people of the region, this is an opportunity to allow them to document their contracts so that going forward we will have a clean database. And the chairman of this verification committee, the person of Dr. Cairo Jubo, and the alternate chairman, has directed that we address this press conference to let the whole region know that management has graciously approved an extension of 1 week for this exercise.
He charged all contractors, consultants, vendors, NGOs and service providers who still have ongoing business with NDDC to avail themselves with this extension of time by the Commission to get verified and be captured into the NDDC database or forfeit their payments.
We hereby implore all contractors, if you have had any business to do with the NDDC that is still ongoing, whether it's a supply, whether it is consulting, whatever it is, whether you have claim right now or not, seize this 1 week extension to come and document yourself. The whole populace is hereby advised.
2 weeks into the verification exercise, only 770 companies have been captured and processed, whereas there are about 2,500 contractors and suppliers in the River State database.
In our database in River State, we have about 2,000 contractors, suppliers and everything. But as we speak, we have actually captured, processed contractors for just about 770 contractors.
It's the interest of most of the contractors, they are people from our region. So it's in their interest that they'll come and do the verification so that we can have a very clean and credible database of contractors. So far so good in Rivers State. We have not had any issues. They have been cooperating and everything is going on well. And with the extension, I'm sure we'll be able to capture everybody.
Any contractor that fails to be captured at the end of this exercise will be deemed not to have any business with the NDDC. Initially, the response from the contractors was not encouraging, but it improved after a week into the exercise, and no one has presented any fake documentation so far. On their part, the contractors hailed the verification exercise as a welcome development, which will, at the end of the day, enable and allow the Commission identify the authentic NDDC contractors that had delivered on their projects as specified and be paid.
It's a good idea, This verification process will allow this region know exactly who the contractors are, and if you have payments, you are sure to be paid. And since the federal government said they want to do forensic audit, I think it's an okay thing. Nobody's regretting it.
My advice for NDDC that they should continue to do this thing. So I think that the client NDDC is doing a lot more to actually add colors to most of the projects they have been executed in Nigeria.
The need to harness the vast but largely untapped economic potential of the over 1,500 staff of the Niger Delta Development Commission has propelled the NDDC Staff Cooperative Investment and Credit Society Limited to initiate plans to float a unit microfinance bank within Port Harcourt Metropolis to serve as a springboard to generate economic empowerment opportunities for its members and vulnerable people in the region. To this effect, the NDDC Staff Cooperative Investment and Credit Society Limited recently held a sensitization forum on the establishment of the NDDC Microfinance Bank Limited in Port Harcourt, which is to cater for its staff and provide financial inclusion for many small and medium-scale businesses in the Niger Delta region. Speaking at the event, the Acting Managing Director of the NDDC, Bene Joy Nunye, promised to work with the Presidency, the National Assembly and other stakeholders to reposition NDDC to achieve the purpose it was set up for. Nunye noted that setting up the NDDC Cooperative Microfinance Bank, which will not only touch the lives of NDDC staff, but also serve as a source of opportunities for the people of the region, was coming at a time when hard decisions needed to be taken to reset the trajectory of the NDDC and avoid the collapse of the interventionist agency. The NDDC CEO stated that microfinance is a universally accepted concept that seeks to bring people together to participate in the financial sector to improve their living conditions, while urging all stakeholders to join forces to help put the Commission back on track, as she stressed that the ongoing contract verification by the IMC is a prelude to the forensic audit ordered by President Muhammadu Buhari. The Microfinance Bank is intended to be incorporated as a subsidiary of the NDDC Staff Cooperative Investment and Credit Society Limited, with the name NDDC Co-op Microfinance Bank Limited, after the sale of 250 million ordinary shares of ₦1 each at ₦2 per share to staff of the Commission. The cordial relationship between the management of the NDDC and the Commission's cooperative body has led to this initiative, which will in no small way complement the government's policy on poverty eradication and industrialization, especially as it affects the Niger Delta region. The NDDC Cooperative Microfinance Bank, an investment designed and guaranteed to outlive the investors, who basically are management and staff of the Commission, as well as members of the Cooperative Investment and Credit Society Limited. This initiative to float the microfinance bank by the NDDC Cooperative is one of the tools to reach the grassroots and transfer the socio-economic lives of the people of the Niger Delta region. Staff of the Commission and members of the cooperative are now looking forward to enjoying the benefits that come with being part as well as operator of a microfinance bank as this one. The Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC has asked its contractors and consultants who have not presented themselves for verification and documentation at the ongoing contract verification exercise, which the Interim Management Committee of the NDDC set up recently, to authenticate all NDDC contracts, to do so immediately, as only verified and confirmed contracts will be paid. This position was made known when the acting managing director of the commission, Dr. Joy Nunye, paid an unscheduled visit to the verification center at the NDDC River State office in Port Harcourt to ascertain the progress of work done since the commencement of the verification exercise.
We're calling on everyone who is truly owed, every company that deserves to be paid, please come forth and do your verification. Once, if you are not verified by the end of next week, then you are not a contractor with the NDDC. Please come with your documents.
The contract verification exercise, just few days in, is the first stage in the redirection of the Commission, while the second stage will entail site inspections and validations.
The next step would be visiting the sites where you claim to have done the jobs. In some cases, people claim to have finished, they have IPCs, but the jobs haven't even been started at all. In some other cases, they say they've done 5 kilometers of road, they all have the same pictures. And so we're not impressed by photographs. Some people have presented 5 photographs. Some other companies have also gotten jobs, the same road constructions from FEMA, the same road constructions from the state governments, and the same road from NDDC. So we have also written to these organizations to identify the projects that they too have been working on, and then so there's a lot to do.
Nunye urged all NDDC contractors, consultants and service providers to take advantage of the verification exercise by going to the various verification centers in the 9 Niger Delta states with the right documentation, so that anyone owed can be paid accordingly, as she expressed satisfaction with the ongoing exercise.
Go to the states where you claim to have implemented these projects. Please go there for your verifications. And once we go through this process, but I just want to say that even though you give us documents, we will still write to PENCOM, NSITF, the Corporate Affairs Commission, to verify the documents that have been put in. So it's just one step into this verification process.
It is expected that by the end of the contract verification exercise, the actual debt profile of the NDDC will be known.
The NDDC repositioning to perform better. The change agents are in place. The task has begun, reassessing priorities.
We're looking at rural development, and for me, it's about rural development.
We must do what is right. Whatever has been done wrong, we must correct it from here.
The president insists that every penny spent on any project in the Niger Delta must be well accounted for.
Identifying no-go areas.
And if you're going to be a contractor here, you have to build toilets for us. You're not just going to leave, take billions and walk away. We are interested in primary health. We're going to be able to say, these people need to stay alive and healthy.
Setting the standards.
And so I'm calling on all Niger Deltans to stand up to protect our region.
The support is coming from everywhere.
But we really want to assure you guys that I think we will support you.
We, the governors of the NDCC, have decided that we will work with the new acting managing director to reposition the corporation.
Take it serious and carry out the proper audit of NDDC.
We want to make people see the NDDC as a social, responsible corporate entity in the interest of the people of Niger Delta.
This is the dream of the people of the Niger Delta.
The NDDC, repositioning to perform better.
The Niger Delta Development Commission NDDC has concluded plans to restore the dilapidated bridge leading into K-Dere and B-Dere communities in Gokana local government area and Okrika local government area in Rivers State. The Commission took this decision when the Acting Managing Director and Head of the Interim Management Committee, IMC, Bene Dr. Joy Nunye, accompanied by the Commission's Acting Executive Director Finance and Administration, Chief Ibanga Bassi, and Acting Executive Director Projects, Dr. Cairo Ojugbo, visited the communities to inspect the road and bridge infrastructure. The NDDC had received petitions about the poor state of the bridge from Ogoni and Okrika elders, which prompted the Commission's hierarchy to visit and have first-hand knowledge of the state of the road and bridge.
This bridge was developed by Shell in the early 60s. However, as of today, the bridge has collapsed.
An immediate assessment and subsequent emergency intervention work on the bridge linking K-Dere, B-Dere and Okrika communities, under which fresh water and salt water meet, has been ordered by the NDDC Acting Managing Director to prevent it from eventual collapse.
This is an emergency. We don't want this. I'm even worried as we stand any minute from now. And it's a very interesting spot where the salt water meets the fresh water. And under this bridge is historic. I think we'll still use this bridge for that historic part of this history.
The quick response of the NDDC to the challenge being faced by the residents of the adjoining communities with the dilapidated bridge has actually gladdened the hearts of those who use the bridge regularly. The NDDC team also visited a community along the Dere River where the environment and aquatic life had been totally destroyed by the activity of illegal oil bunkering by the youths of the community. Leaders and elders in Gokana have been admonished to rein in their use to end the continued degradation of the environment.
The NDDC repositioning to perform better. The change agents are in place. The task has begun, reassessing priorities.
We're looking at rural development, and for me, it's about rural development.
We must do what is right. Whatever has been done wrong, we must correct it from here.
The President insists that every penny spent on any project in the Niger Delta must be well accounted for.
Identifying no-go areas.
And if you're going to be a contractor here, you have to build toilets for us. You're not just going to leave, take billions and walk away. We are interested in primary health. We're going to be able to say these people need to stay alive and healthy.
Setting the standards.
And so I'm calling on all Niger Deltans to stand up to protect our region.
The support is coming from everywhere.
Well, we really want to assure you guys that I think I will support you.
We, the governors of the NDDC, have decided that we will work with the new Acting Managing Director to reposition the corporation.
Take it serious and carry out the proper audit of NDDC.
We want to make people see the NDDC as a social, responsible corporate entity in the interest of the people of Niger Delta.
This is the dream of the people of the Niger Delta.
The NDDC repositioning to perform better.
The Interim Management Committee of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) is advocating for a robust partnership with the River State Waste Management Agency (RIWAMA) to curb the menace of environmental pollution, which is fast affecting life expectancy of the people of the oil-bearing communities in the southern part of the country. This was made known when a delegation from the NDDC, led by its Acting Executive Director Projects, Dr. Cairo Ojugbo, who represented the Acting Managing Director of the Commission, Bene Dr. Joy Nunye, paid a courtesy visit to the sole administrator of RIWAMA, Prince Felix Obua, at his office in Port Harcourt.
Because of the health of the people of the Niger Delta, which is a main PV of the arm of the Niger Delta Development Commission, we decided to come here to hold a meeting with the agency so that we can collaborate on how to address the issue of pollution that is becoming hazardous.
The activities of some youths of the Niger Delta in oil bunkering in the region are not only illegal but a major contributor of pollutants into the atmosphere that is negatively affecting the health of the people. He urged the River State Waste Management Agency to use modern techniques to dispose of the refuse.
Then, unfortunately, we go to our abattoirs. You see them roast a cow and roast a goat with tires. And it is a major source of pollutants. Then you leave there. The waste, that's where that concerns you most seriously. It's generating the waste dumps. In the waste dumps, there are all manner of things. Polythene bags, everything, and all of them. And this, by the time you wake up, the cloud is black. I have never said it before. If you walk the streets of Port Harcourt, look at the roof, everywhere is black. The gardens, all of them, you see soup dropping. And we cannot continue like that. We must help ourselves.
In his remarks, the Riwama boss observed that the visit of the NDDC delegation to the River State Waste Management Agency's office is historic, as the development and well-being of the Niger Delta people has taken precedence over partisan politics.
I'm happy you are here today. When I heard that you are paying me a costly visit today and to discuss one or two things, my heart gladdens. I said, this is the best visitors I've had. It's like a lost and found. If not for anything, I can put it in my record that the acting MD, our daughter, project, and his team, we are the first who set aside politics and to do the needful. That's why I will ever remain grateful to her and this team for this costly visit.
Dr. Obua noted that Riwama, as directed by Governor Nyesom Wike, had carried out its waste management activities in the state at no expense to the residents since 2015, while also calling on other corporate bodies and agencies to emulate NDDC by collaborating with Riwama to tackle air pollution and other environmental hazards in the state.
So we are calling on agency operating in River State, corporate bodies, friends who love cleanness to come to our aid. First, the equipment used by this agency are very exorbitant. The BOMAC alone takes more than $500 million. We don't want the money. We don't even want able to say that. We want at least 1 or 2 BOMAC from Niger Delta Development Agency. It will help us in the process.
The NDDC repositioning to perform better. The change agents are in place. The task has begun, reassessing priorities.
We're looking at rural development, and for me, it's about rural development.
We must do what is right. Whatever has been done wrong, we must correct it from here.
The president insists that every penny spent on any project in the Niger Delta must be well accounted for.
Identifying no-go areas.
And if you're going to be a contractor here, you have to build toilets for us. You're not just going to leave, take billions and walk away. We are interested in primary health. We're going to be able to say, these people need to stay alive and healthy.
Setting the standards.
And so I'm calling on all Niger Deltans to stand up to protect our region.
The support is coming from everywhere.
Well, we really want to assure you guys that I think we will support you.
We, the governors of the NDDC, have decided that we will work with the new acting managing director to reposition the corporation.
Take it serious and carry out the proper audit of NDDC.
We want to make people see the NDDC as a social, responsible corporate entity in the interest of the people of Niger Delta.
This is the dream of the people of the Niger Delta.
The NDDC repositioning to perform better. So although contract verification is going on, the NDDC must continue to do what it's set up to do in spite of all that.
helping to develop the Niger Delta. As we say, that's not going to be easy. However, every ear is down waiting for the final report of the Contract Verification Committee so that eventually and finally the audit can happen. We'll be here to tell you how all that is shaping out. Join us, same time next week.